Hey guys, it's Lauren from Girly Knits, and today I'm going to teach you how to knit thumbs. So most of my patterns pretty much use the same techniques for knitting thumbs. So whether you're knitting like Snow Princess or Smitten Mittens or Sweeter Than a Cupcake or like Care to Cuddle or Be My Valentine fingerless gloves, they pretty much use like the same basic techniques for knitting the thumb. So I'm just going to walk you through them and hopefully it helps you with your project. So here I have finished my thumb gusset, and let's see, I'm showing you this for the Be My Valentine pattern. So I've just knit 4 rounds even, and I'm about to place stitches on a holder for the thumb to come back to and knit later. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to knit these first 2 stitches right here, and it will indicate in the pattern like how many to knit and then how many to put on a holder. And so it says place 9 stitches on a holder, so I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it's going to tell you to cast on 3 stitches. So the way that I do that, there's different ways that you can cast on to your needle, but what I do is like a reverse knit cast on. So I do like a purl cast on since we're on the wrong side here. We're adding on stitches this way, so I just purl into the stitch, and then as I'm taking it off, I put my left hand needle into the bottom of that stitch and add it onto my needle, and that just gave me one more stitch. And then again, I'm gonna, as if to purl, as it's coming off, I'm just gonna put my left hand needle into that bottom of that stitch, and then once more. So again, we just need to cast on 3 stitches. And then we're going to turn our work back around, and then we're just going to continue to knit and make sure you have a little bit of a tighter tension here so there's no like holes there or anything. And we're just going to continue to knit to the end, and then you knit 1 round, and then there's going to be a round where you have decreases right above the area where you just casted on stitches, and then we're just going to knit to the end, and then I'll fast forward to the part where we're knitting the thumb. Alright, so I just finished up the hand of my mitten, and I forgot to mention before, I'm actually knitting the right hand in the pattern. If you're knitting a left hand, you'd probably be putting the stitches on the holder at the end of the round instead of the beginning of the round. So just in case that threw you off, I wanted to clear that up. But so what we're going to do now is it's going to say to transfer the held stitches to 2 double pointed needles. So I'm just going to, actually I'm going to turn this around so it's a little bit easier. So I'm just going to put, there's 9, so I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4 on one needle. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other needle. And then it's going to tell you with the 3rd needle, we want to pick up stitches where we cast it on, and then we're going to pick up 2 extra stitches to prevent holes. And I think with my patterns, Smitten Mittens and Snow Princess, the extra stitches you pick up, you'll actually knit together with stitches that you pick up along the cast on edge, but for this pattern we're actually just gonna keep them as a stitch that we're gonna knit. So we're gonna pick up 1 stitch below the cast on stitch through the back. So I'm gonna pick up this stitch, see the side of the V right here, through the back, and then we're gonna pick up these 3 cast on stitches. And sometimes it's easier actually to use another needle to help you pick them up. So I'm gonna get 1, and then 2, and then the 3rd one right there. Sometimes it's a little stiff. And then we're going to pick up another stitch, again through the back, so through the back, below that last picked up stitch there, and then we have 5 stitches. And now we are going to start knitting. Alright, so now we're going to join our yarn the same color that we were using, and we're just going to knit across these stitches we just picked up. So just going to knit 1, and then 2, oops, there we go, and then 3, 4, and 5, oops, dropped it again. It is a little stiff on that first row, so just got to be a little careful. And then we're going to, just going to stick this tail in the center so it doesn't confuse us. And then we're going to knit those stitches that were on the holder. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again. So, you know, getting familiar with double pointed needles can be a little tricky, but they just take some practice, and then once you get comfortable, it gets a little bit easier. It is a little tough doing thumbs because, like, it's easier to knit on double pointed needles when you have, like, more stitches on the needle, but there's so few because it's a little thumb. So it's a little tricky, but you'll get the hang of it. So now we're just knitting in the round, and yeah, where you started, sometimes the yarn, you just need to, like, give it a little tug. It doesn't get too loose. But so we're just going to keep knitting in the round, and then depending on what style thumb you want, either you're going to knit a few rounds and then rib a few rounds and bind off for like a fingerless thumb, or you'll just continue knitting until it's just about covers your thumb, and then you're just going to decrease across that round and then pull your end through the remaining stitches, just like you would close up a hat at the end, and then you'll have that thumb that way. So that is basically thumbs for you. I hope that helped, and if there's anything else you're stuck with, just let me know.